What's that big shiny thing up in the sky there?
Don't know, but it's going to start hiding behind that big piece of cotton wool in a minute.
I thought you were going to say bush. We're not talking about bushes today. Tell the viewer something that they probably don't know about me.
About you? It's impossible.
They all know I'm impossible. You're not even trying, come on, try harder than that.
I don't want to offend you.
You wouldn't be able to offend me.
It's a nightmare to live with.
They already know that as well. All right, my turn then. Something about you that the viewer probably doesn't know. Shaun is probably the best chef that I've ever had cook for me. He's so good, he used to prepare food for the royal family.
I did.
On HMS Britannia, the royal yacht.
HMY Britannia.
HMY Britannia. What's the difference between a Y and an S?
Yacht and ship. HMY, Her Majesty's Yacht Britannia.
I don't know why. Do you know why? Anyway, he does a lot of home cooking.
I do.
And a couple of years ago, he started making his own marmalade. And we sell it in our honesty box. We have an honesty box at the end of our, 6-mile long drive by the gates with the big dragon heads on them.
Yes.
And we sell them in there with the eggs. And they were very popular with the neighbours.
Yes.
So much so that we thought, well, we've got a wedding to pay for. What can we sell?
apart from a soul.
Sold that years ago. So we decided to branch out a little bit and market the marmalade, and we teased it on Patreon a couple of weeks ago, and we got a really good reaction about flavours and designs and things like that. So first thing we're going to do, which is what a lot of the people who saw it on social media said, is show you how he actually makes it. Or buys it from the co-op and puts it in different jars.
I don't like cooking videos.
What are we doing today?
We're doing today is making marmalade.
What sort of marmalade?
We're going to make some orange and lemon marmalade.
And what's the ingredients?
Oranges and lemon. Oranges, lemons and sugar. Basically, that's it.
So this is one of the 4 types of marmalade that we're going to be selling soon.
It absolutely is.
And what are the others?
The others are Seville orange marmalade, Seville orange shredless marmalade,
and the special one.
And the special one is orange and whiskey.
I can't wait for that one. Tell people what we've been doing to kind of get the recipe just right.
We've been experimenting with ingredients in it, and then we came up with a final one which has a little bit of molasses in it and the right amount of whiskey, and we took it round to the neighbours with a spoon, give them the taste test, and it got the real thumbs up.
It's actually popular with the
very
neighbours,
popular.
Isn't it? So we're going to be making that soon. But today, orange and lemon.
Orange and lemon today.
Before we do anything, because this is food preparation area,
we've got to clean up.
We've got to clean up. Just to add that the dogs are at a friend's, and we've already deep cleaned the kitchen.
We have,
as you can probably tell. But we're just going to give it another clean now.
Just a quick spray.
How easy is it to make marmalade?
It's simple. It's really simple. For this, it's just 3 ingredients, oranges, lemons and sugar. That's it.
How does it stick together? How does it get that kind of, you know what I mean?
How does it set?
Yeah.
It means how does it set? Well, in these oranges and lemons, especially lemons, there's a substance called pectin, and that is what helps the marmalade set.
Ah, right, so we don't add
along with the sugar.
So we don't add anything to it, really?
We don't add any other ingredients apart from sugar and the fruit.
So what are you going to do first?
We're going to cut up the oranges and get the nice bits of shred.
How come you're not wearing gloves?
I'm not using gloves because I'm using knives, and I've been a chef for 90 however many years, and it's pretty impossible to use knives with gloves because you can catch the gloves with the knife, end up with bits of rubber in your food. My hands have been scrubbed like every day, like every chef does it.
So it's safe.
So it's safe.
So what next then? I can see a pile of lemons.
We've got a pile of lemons here. What we're going to do is cut these lemons in half. We're going to get all the juice out. I'm not using the flesh of the lemons because they're full of pips, and to get the pips out is a nightmare. So we get all the juice, put that in with the oranges. Basically, that's it.
How come you can't just sieve the pips out?
It is real pain. It's a real pain.
And
sieving them out is exactly as squeezing the juice out. Your juicer, which is here, will actually sieve out everything. Right, what we've just done is we've squeezed all those lemons, and now we're going to pour this lovely lemon juice into those oranges, and we're going to give them a blast in the blender. In the sieve, the reason why we sieved it is because pips still get through, and we don't want that in the marmalade. We want it to be nice and clear. At this point, traditionally, what would happen, you would cut your oranges and lemons up, put them all in a pan and actually cook them for hours and hours. But what I do now is we just take the flesh out and we blend it, and that cuts down cooking time dramatically. So we're going to give these a quick blend. Ready for the noise.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. All blended up like lovely, and that will cook really nice. What we're going to do next is all these pieces of orange here, we're going to take all the excess pith off. Pith off, pith off, pith off. And all we're going to be left with is this orange rind, which will make the marmalade taste yum.
Why do we take the pith?
We take the pith off because it's nasty.
Taking the pith.
It's funny.
No, honestly, why do we take it out?
We take it out because it can make it taste quite bitter and horrible, and it can make the marmalade unclear, cloudy, and all sorts. So we get rid of it. So that's the oranges done. Now to start with the lemons.
Now what?
Now we're going to throw this pith away, and then we're going to cut up and shred the peel.
What you done?
No matter how much experience you have with knives, they're still sharp. And I cut myself, so this little bit here that I've started has to be thrown away, and I have to put a blue plaster on now. Tiny. Nice and tight on there.
We like it nice and tight, don't we?
That's the orange peel done. Now what I'm doing is putting all this in a pan along with the lemon peel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover that with water. Just cover it with water, like that, as you can see. We're going to simmer that until we reduce the water, and that will soften the peel, and then we will start adding other ingredients. As you can see, all the water is now reduced. So what I'm going to do now is add the oranges and the lemons into the peel. Just like that.
Just like that.
Add some more water. And then we're going to add the sugar.
Wow, that's a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar. What I'm doing now is just stirring the sugar in until it's dissolved. And we'll keep stirring it on and off until it comes to the boil. And then we will leave it on a rolling boil for about an hour and a half.
What's a rolling boil?
It's self-explanatory when you look at it. It's just bubbling.
All right. Like simmering.
It's a little bit hotter than simmering.
You're a little bit hotter than simmering.
As you can see, we've got a nice rolling boil there. And as you can also see, there's quite a little bit of scum around the edges. What you can do is you can add a little knob of butter in there to help dissipate that. But we don't do that because ours is suitable for vegans, so we just skim it off at the end.
So no little knobs in there then?
No little knobs in there. It's just about ready, so what we have to do is check the temperature of the marmalade as it's boiling, because it has to reach at least 105 degrees Celsius or 221 degrees Fahrenheit. That is its setting temperature, so let's give it a test. So there we go, that reached just over 106 degrees Celsius, which is about 222 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is the correct setting temperature. But what we have to do now is put a plate in the fridge and put a little splodge on it, leave it in the fridge for 10 minutes, and we'll show you what happens when it's reached its setting point. So here we have our cold plate that's been in the fridge, and we're just going to put a tiny little bit on there in the middle like that. And then we're going to put that back in the fridge for about 10 minutes. While the marmalade's setting in the fridge, I'm going to finish sterilising the jars. They were all hand washed in hot water and detergent before going through the dishwasher on the highest temperature setting. Finally, I put them in the oven for about 15 minutes at 180 degrees to dry off, and they come out ready to fill. So hopefully now, this should have set. So what we do is, it's been in the fridge for about 10 minutes, and that little splodge there, we run our finger through it, and if it crinkles, it's ready. There we go. That's ready. And it tastes lovely. Any scum that's left on the top of there, we're just going to scoop off with a spoon and put it on this plate and discard it.
Can we not have that on a butty?
You can, it's perfectly edible, there's nothing wrong with it. It just looks unsightly in the jar.
A bit like the honey froth.
A bit like the honey froth, yes. Right, we're ready for jarring up. Got my ladle, my little funnel, the marmalade, the jars, and most importantly, my scales. So what I'll do here is put a jar on there, reset it, and we've got it set on grams. Put our ladle in the marmalade and the funnel in the jar. And we have to have a minimum of 200 grams. That should be about right. When I take that off, it'll go a little bit lighter. There you go, there's 215 in there.
how many jars we got?
We got 15 out of that batch.
And is that about how many we make in each batch?
It is, yes. That's about average. 14, 15 jars. It all depends on when the setting temperature comes in.
And how long has it taken you to make one set of 15 jars?
7 hours.
No, honestly, it's because people are going to be like, because like we're going to be selling these on the website, and the thing about it's like our honey is that we only use like natural ingredients. We don't add anything into it at all.
Nothing.
And at every stage, it's handmade. There's nothing kind of false or artificial in it.
That's right.
There's no
that batch would normally take about 3 hours to make. Normally about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours to make. Today it's taken 18.
But that's because we're filming it. And does it take any longer to make any like the other ones, like the whiskey one? Or
No, it's exactly the same. The whiskey is added afterwards, so after it's reached its setting point. So yeah, it's all the same.
And what about the shredless? How do you get the bits out of the shredless?
Basically, what I do is put it in a sieve. A sieve. I cook it with all the rind because then it gets the pectin out of the rind for the setting. So then I put it through a sieve, and it comes through nice, pure, and clear.
I like the shredless more than I like the bits.
Yeah, you don't like the bits, do you?
I don't like the bits. So what happens now?
We just put the lids on.
Ta-da! No, do that again on time. Are you ready? Ta-da! There it is. Finished marmalade. Which variety is that?
That's orange and lemon.
As they used to say on Blue Peter, get down, Shep. Here's one we made earlier. Here's one Shaun made earlier, anyway. We do make them in really small batches. There's only about 15 in each batch.
15 jars in each batch.
They're very freshly made. We're still waiting for the labels. We wanted to show you it with the finished label.
But they're not here.
But they're not here yet. If you remember the honey that we made, it's the same design, but it's for marmalade.
It is, yeah.
So they look very, very similar to in fact, it's the same jar. Because we're making so much honey and marmalade now, and we want to keep costs as low as possible so that the price we sell to you is as low as we can get it. So we bought a pallet of jars.
There were millions.
Well, 3,040 anyway.
It felt like millions.
When we deliberately ordered them on a pallet.
Yes.
And as we were talking about earlier, our driveway is like 18.7 kilometres long.
It's grown a few miles.
With the lion's heads. Was it dragon heads?
It was dragon heads before.
And the lorries can't get up our drive because it's a bit steep and rocky and turny and twisty. So they generally, anything that's bigger than like a pallet, they just leave at the end of the drive, and we go down with the quad and the trailer or our special little new machine.
Yes.
And we move it up to the barns and up to the house.
Yeah.
So he dropped it off, and we unwrapped it and then realised that they weren't in boxes. Well, we didn't know if they were in boxes or not, but they were basically just loose packed. And it took us 3 hours, like 4 in each hand. Why didn't we use as thumbs? We could have got 5 in each hand. And basically transferred them onto the trailer, onto the quad, and then drove them up to the barn and then repacked them in the barn.
Yeah.
And it took us about 3 hours.
But I think if we'd have got them in boxes, they'd have been more expensive.
It would have been more expensive, and that's why we do it this way, because we thought if we get it in pallets, it's a couple of hours' work.
Yeah.
And as backs will get better in a few weeks.
A few years for me.
But it saves you a couple of pence on each jar, doesn't it?
It does, actually. It really does.
And that's all worth it.
Yeah. Is it?
No. So we're going to be doing it, or Shaun's going to be doing it in 4 varieties. Tell them which variety is, Shaun.
Orange and lemon.
Said the bells of St Clement's.
Yep, St Clement's. And then we've got orange marmalade, Seville orange marmalade. And then we have Seville orange shredless marmalade. I'm making shredless because we know not all people like shreds.
And the special one.
And the special one is orange and whiskey.
That went down really well with the neighbours.
It did.
They were all. We went round with a jar and we gave them a little bit, didn't we? And then they were all tipsy.
Orange and whiskey with a hint of molasses.
With a hint of molasses, and it's true single malt Highland Scotch whiskey in
Yes,
there.
it is.
It's
Yes.
beautiful, and I don't like marmalade much. So we're going to be putting it on set. We're waiting for the labels.
Yes, we are.
As soon as the labels have arrived, we're going to open up pre-orders for our Patreon and YouTube members first of all, so they can get their hands on it, and then we'll open it up to everybody. So you can buy some marmalade.
Would there be any left for the rest of
For your
them?
jam, we're not going to have any left. No. It's going to be like the honey. We're selling it to everybody, and we ain't even got a jar of it ourselves.
We haven't.
So if you don't follow us on social media, that's going to be the best place, because that's where we're going to be announcing that it's for sale when we eventually are able to sell it.
Yeah, we'll probably announce it on a live blog as well, won't we?
Yeah, if you want to be kind of get your hands on it, first of all, just become a Patreon.
Are we still talking about the marmalade?
No. We stopped talking about that ages ago. We hope you've liked a bit of Shaun cooking in his virginal white top. It doesn't look white anymore, it's a bit grey now, isn't it?
No, this is a different one.
Hey. If you've liked the vlog and you're not already, please subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Hit the thumbs up button, hit the wibbly wobbly ding dong bell, and YouTube will tell you every time we release a brand new video. If you want to become a Patreon and get all the perks like early access to the stuff like that and exclusive content, there's a link up above Shaun's head. Above Shaun's head on some devices. If not, it's down in the video description too. Join us for Foxes Saturday Live tomorrow.
Ooh.
Or last Saturday if you're watching this on Sunday.
Or a week on Tuesday if you've got it on catch up.
And we'll see you next time. We're going to make some toast and have marmalade and toast. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra!